Imagine a message, sent from a dying world, promising hope and salvation to its last son. But what if that message was incomplete, hiding a sinister directive that could shatter humanity's trust in its greatest hero? Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a deep dive into Superman, Reign of the Tyrant, the film that boldly reimagines the Man of Steel's origin and his ongoing battle for truth and trust. Join us as we unravel every twist, expose every hidden detail, and explain the ending that left everyone questioning everything they knew about Superman. The movie opens with the familiar origin. A baby, Kal-El, is sent from Krypton with a message of hope. His parents express their eternal love and declare Earth the place where he can do the most good. However, we immediately cut to a severely injured Superman, 14 bones fractured, his body battered. His robot butler, 4, urges him to rest, noting that this hammer fellow beat him at full power. Suddenly, Superman's dog, Krypto, attacks the robots, revealing he's not one to be easily contained. Krypto's unruly behavior is both a comedic relief and a sign of his independent spirit. Meanwhile, the Hammer of Boroviya, an armored assailant, prepares for another attack. Superman quickly returns to the fray, engaging the hammer in a dynamic, destructive battle. A commentator marvels that the hammer seems to predict Superman's every move. This isn't coincidence. The hammer has studied Superman for years, developing 2,500 countermoves. The hammer, later identified as Malik Ali, is revealed to be an operative for Lex Luthor. His mission, to lead Lex's team, including the engineer, to Superman's hidden fortress of solitude in Antarctica. Lex's team successfully infiltrates the fortress, retrieves data, and then retreats, leaving destruction behind. Amidst the chaos, Superman tries to save Molly, a local who once gave him free falafel, but Molly insists on helping. The public, now divided, cheers for Ultraman, a new hero presented by Lex Luthor. At the Daily Planet, Clark Kent is late and Perry White expresses frustration with metahumans. Clark's phone call with his parents is humorously interrupted by Steve, and Cat Grant's bluntness. Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen question Superman's recent actions, particularly his intervention in Boroviya. Clark, as himself, defensively insists Superman told him the hammer was faking a Boravian accent. Lois, ever the astute journalist, expresses suspicion about Clark's frequent interviews with Superman. Lex Luthor presents his Planet Watch initiative to the Secretary of Defense, showcasing Ultraman and the Engineer. The Engineer's blood is infused with nanites, allowing her to create anything she imagines, a truly formidable power. Lex argues for Planet Watch to contain Superman, highlighting his violent actions in Boroviya. He dismisses Superman's good intentions, comparing him to an uncontrolled force. Director Crawley, however, points out that Luthor Corp has profited immensely from Boravian arms sales. She implies Lex's financial gain from a Boravian war would increase if Superman were neutralized. Lex counters by revealing Superman's secret fortress, arguing his alien nature makes him dangerous. He assures the officials that Planet Watch can contain Superman, even without kryptonite. Back at Clark's apartment, Lois critiques his article and the ethical implications of his interviews with Superman. She warns him that his secret identity won't last forever. Clark, confidently, agrees to a live interview as Superman, believing he can handle any question. Lois immediately challenges his claim of stopping a war, forcing him to elaborate on his methods. He admits to flying President Gurkos into the desert and placing him against a cactus as a threat. Lois relentlessly questions if this constitutes torture and illegal intervention in foreign affairs. Superman grows defensive, accusing Lois of dishonesty for questioning Boravia's intentions. Lois highlights that Superman acted without consulting any U.S. officials, creating international problems. She shifts to his negative social media perception, which Superman claims not to read. Lois confronts him about public suspicion due to his alien origin, bringing up #SuperSpy and #Supership. Superman is visibly frustrated by the Supership hashtag and abruptly tries to end the interview. Lois points out his pattern of walking away from conflict, leading to a deeper personal argument between them. Lois sadly admits she knew their relationship wouldn't work, leaving Clark confused. Meanwhile, Lex and the engineer are at the fortress, where they accessed Superman's ship's data. The engineer reveals her nanites were Lex's creation, a sacrifice of her own humanity. She finds the damaged message from Superman's parents, realizing there's more to it. Krypto, mutated into a giant beast by Lex's device, serves as a distraction in Metropolis. The Justice Gang, including Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific, arrive to confront the monster. Their attempt to subdue the giant Krypto is chaotic and comically ineffective, with Guy Gardner injured. Back at LexCorp, Lex presents the full translation of Superman's parents' message to officials. The message, now seemingly complete, instructs Kal-El to lord over the planet and dispatch of anyone unwilling to serve you. It implies he should take many wives to propagate Kryptonian genes and rule with no mercy. Lex chillingly suggests Superman has been grooming humanity for domination. The Justice Gang reacts with horror. Guy Gardner is particularly outraged. Superman, present for the reveal, vehemently denies having a secret harem. He admits the first half of the message is real, but claims the second was doctored due to transit damage. However, forensic experts confirm the authenticity of the full message. Public sentiment turns violently against Superman, demanding his capture. President Gurkos capitalizes on the narrative, claiming Superman wants Jarhanpur enslaved. Lex confesses to the engineer that the message isn't fake, Superman is truly a threat. Superman returns to his fortress, finding 4 damaged and Krypto missing. He confronts Lex, who mockingly denies knowing anything about the ugly dog in a cape. News pundits now portray Superman as a rabid animal, confirming Lex's smear campaign. Superman finds Lois and explains the message was damaged. He always believed in serving humanity. Lois, understanding, comforts him and reaffirms her trust. Their tender moment is interrupted by a humorous debate about punk rock music. Superman, heartbroken and desperate to find Krypto, confesses his love to Lois before turning himself in. The government, deeming him an extraterrestrial organism, states he has no rights. He is then outsourced to Planet Watch, meaning Lex Luthor's private prison. Superman finds himself trapped in a pocket universe, created by Lex using a mega collider. Lex introduces Rex, the Element Man, who can transform into any substance, including kryptonite, to torture Superman. Lois, Jimmy, and the Justice Gang, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, begin to investigate Lex's true motives. Lois discovers, through a Bodabank contact, that Lex sold Boravia $80 billion worth of arms for only $1.625 billion. Jimmy's source confirms Superman is in a pocket universe. Meanwhile, Lex uses super squirrels to contain Krypto and plans painful experiments. He gloats about imprisoning political agitators and even ex-girlfriends in his pocket universe. Lex brings Molly, Superman's friend, to interrogate him, threatening to kill Molly if Superman doesn't cooperate. Molly, loyal to Superman, refuses to talk and is killed by Rex's kryptonite form. Eve, the engineer, meets Jimmy, expressing her frustration with Lex and inadvertently reveals crucial information. She's disgusted by Lex's cruelty, especially his torture of Krypto. Rex, the Element Man, reveals his secret. He has a son named Joseph, whom Lex is using as leverage. Mr. Terrific accidentally reveals to Lois that Clark Kent wears hypnoglasses to conceal his identity. He also reveals he put nanobot GPS trackers in Superman, confirming his location at Fort Kramer. Guy Gardner refuses to get involved, citing his Green Lantern vows against political interference. Lois shames Guy's haircut, leading to a humorous exchange, before convincing him and Hawkgirl to investigate Fort Kramer. At Fort Kramer, Lois's team confronts armed guards who are protecting the dimensional portal. Mr. Terrific confirms the pocket universe and warns of its extreme dangers, including black holes. Inside, Superman is weakened by the lack of a yellow sun, explaining his earlier gross appearance. He instructs Mr. Terrific to create a makeshift sun to restore his powers. The guards attempt to stop them, but the Justice Gang holds them off while the sun is created. Krypto, now returned to normal size, appears and chaotic ally saves Joey from Rex, who is transforming. The portal begins to destabilize, threatening to tear reality apart. Superman, empowered again, battles Rex but gets caught in a black hole, with Krypto pulling him out. Superman is poisoned by kryptonite gas during the escape, weakening him. Mr. Terrific sends Lois and the others away in his T-Craft, while he stays to secure the portal. Eve, the engineer, now free from Lex's control, escapes and contacts Jimmy. She offers Jimmy damning evidence against Lex in exchange for a weekend date. Lois arrives with the weakened Superman at the Kent farm, introducing him to Martha and John Kent. Clark, distressed, tells his parents about the true meaning of the Kryptonian message. His father, Pa Kent, offers profound wisdom: your choices, Clark. Your actions. That's what makes you who you are. News reports show Boravian troops invading Jarhanpur, with villagers desperately calling for Superman. Mr. Terrific urgently calls Superman, warning that the dimensional rift is about to destroy Metropolis. Lois, Jimmy, and the Daily Planet team uncover Eve's evidence, Lex's deal to become king of half of Jarhanpur. They realize Lex engineered the entire crisis to remove Superman and secure his own power. Perry White gives the go-ahead to publish the bombshell expose, proving Lex's treachery. As the rift threatens Metropolis, Lex, unmoved, insists on slowing it down rather than closing it completely. Lex, with Ultraman and the Engineer, confronts Superman and orders her to fill his lungs with nanites. Superman's lungs are breached, and Lex reveals the Boravian invasion is proceeding unchecked. Lex reveals Ultraman is a clone of Superman, made from a strand of his hair found after battles. He mocks Ultraman's intellect but acknowledges his enhanced strength and obedience. Superman reveals he called for help. The Justice Gang arrives to confront the Boravian forces, forcing a retreat. Guy Gardner, proving his words, acts decisively against a Boravian general, differentiating himself from Superman. Lex confesses his true motive: he created the Boravian conflict as an excuse to kill Superman. He admits his intense envy of Superman, seeing him as a symbol of humanity's weakness. Lex believes his envy is a calling, driving him to annihilate Superman for humanity's sake. Krypto, now free, attacks Lex's tech, disrupting his control over the Raptors. Mr. Terrific, having secured the portal, arrives to help close the rift, but Lex resists. Lex, caring only for cities he cares about, tries to prevent the rift from closing to punish Metropolis. Superman, in a powerful moment, tells Lex his humanity, his love, fear, and struggles, is his greatest strength. Lex, enraged, brandishes a device, asserting his government authority to kill Superman. Krypto intervenes, grabbing Lex and slamming him against the ground until Superman makes him stop. News reports declare Lex Luthor a traitor, with the Daily Planet story exposing his nefarious plots. The world unites in condemnation of Lex, and Superman is fully vindicated. The Justice Gang celebrates their victory, with Guy Gardner even complimenting Superman. They officially adopt the name Justice Gang, incorporating Superman into their ranks. Lex Luthor is arrested and sent to Belle Reve, presumably to be reunited with an ex-girlfriend he imprisoned. Lois and Superman share a tender moment, solidifying their relationship. At Superman's repaired fortress, Gary, 4, announces the return of his cousin, Supergirl. Supergirl, oblivious, complains about the fortress door, instantly clashing with Krypto. Superman explains Supergirl's penchant for partying on red sun planets, where their metabolism allows them to get drunk. He then watches the restored message from his parents, now complete and truthful. The full message, set to a punk rock song, reveals his parents are proud of the choices he made, embracing his individuality. Superman looks at the message, a little wistful, but Gary reassures him. And that's Superman, Reign of the Tyrant. What an incredible journey of self-discovery, trust, and the true meaning of heroism. Did the twist about Superman's parents' message shock you? What did you think of Lex Luthor's ultimate motivation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this detailed recap and explanation, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more epic movie content. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.